Well, it's another overcast and foggy morning here in north central Florida. It's 62 degrees, not bad. It's kind of like not cold enough to really wear a lot, but not warm enough to not wear too little or something like that. Anyway, it's good. It's a good temperature. I kind of do like it to be cold when it's cold season so that it will stay one temperature for a while and make it a little easier to avoid those seasonal illnesses with my family. But, for the most part, I haven't had to worry about that, and I'm thankful. I grew up thinking our medical system was really, it was going to progress to the point that we were going to eradicate certain diseases. We had been told for years. I mean, they said back in the 1960s when they discovered the oncogene, we'll have cancer figured out by 1976. Well, that didn't go too well. As a matter of fact, it's increased ever since. Everything, it seems, that medicine has started to research or get into has increased. Now, people who watch my channel know that has a lot to do with the food system taking over in the way that it has. But what happened in food, I'm finding out now, parallels a lot of what happened in medicine. Now, I knew about Ancel Keys and his, input when it comes to cholesterol and dietary fat and all the things that we learned that were wrong about that. But now I'm reading Robert F. Kennedy's book, The Real Dr. Anthony Fauci. And I am realizing that this guy is, he makes Ancel Keys look like a piker when it comes to what he's been able to do to our medical system. I didn't know his tenure went back all the way to the AIDS epidemic in the early 80s, and that he was the impetus for a lot of the craziness that went on around that. And the things that I'm finding out about him that I assumed based on a lot of the things that I was seeing during the pandemic. I'm like, okay, at first I thought this guy knows what he's doing back in March of 2020. But by April, I was already questioning because he'd already switched his opinion on the topic of masks and so on. And I just remember thinking, I don't know about this guy. And then as it got worse and worse, I mean, I knew as I was watching that this had nothing to do with getting anybody healthy. This had all to do with a whole different agenda that either had to do with money or power or both. And a lot of us have already found out that it's both. Good morning, Daisy. Daisy's got to chime in and let you know she's here. She's a very pretty German Shepherd. Good morning, pretty girl. Anyway, this thing with Fauci, though, as I get into chapter 2 of this book, it's just really an eye-opener. When you look around and you wonder, why when I go to the doctor do I never get any answers? Why do I feel like they tell me they've got the answers for everything, but they can't ever fix anything when I go in? I just keep spending more money, more time, more of the government's money if you're on Medicare or Medicaid or something like that, more of your own money if you're not. And then you say, well, I'm not getting any help. I'm not getting any answers. And I'm finding out from what I'm reading in this book that it starts with Fauci. His control over the system is almost like the Godfather in the mafia. He's just got, and Kennedy used some of these terms. So, I mean, I'm stealing a little bit from him to explain this, but all I can say is this book is worth reading. I took my time to get to it. It's been out for over 2 years, almost 3 years now. And I took my time to get to it because really, I didn't want to go back and revisit the things I already knew that were wrong with that era. I was ready to leave that era behind me. So getting through chapter 1, covering the whole 2020, 2021 period involving Fauci was not a fun revisitation. But it's still important for us to know things like this because it helps us to understand why things are the way they are. Because if you can't explain to somebody why things aren't the way they seem, it's hard for them to understand as well. If you can just try to tell them that they're in the matrix and they can't really see it till they get out, That's hard for anybody to believe. But when you got somebody who's interested, just like Neo knew something was wrong, we all know something's wrong. Even if you're not a carnivore, even if you haven't already changed your way of eating, everybody knows something's wrong. Something's wrong with our food, something's wrong with our medicine, but they can't quite put a finger on it. And a lot of times it's because we're trusting people that we're supposed to be able to trust, that are in positions of authority, that have been put there for the public trust, and they are totally violating the public trust. Well, this book goes a long way to explaining a lot of that, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description because I encourage anyone to read it. It has so far just been revelatory for me, and I wanted to share that with you guys this morning while I'm out on my morning walk. No sunrise today, too much overcast, but you know what? I got it done again. I said, screw it. I'm going to get up and do it, and that's why my physical motion is much better at age 52 than it was at age 48. I've been able to lose the weight thanks to the diet, and it all started with one change of thinking. I'm going to change the way I eat. And then I said, you know what? This expands beyond just the way I eat. I'm going to change the way I am doing my lifestyle around food and health and medicine. But it was Lion Diet that kicked that off. I couldn't have done it. I don't think I would have ever been able to do it without it. So if this is all news to you, go back and watch 125 Days on Lion Diet. That's my very first video talking about all this. And you can see the transformation for yourself. And if you want to check out some of my other videos, you can see kind of the whole story's there. I'm just sharing it so that people will know that this experience that I've been on, this crazy experience, continues to be the most amazing thing that has ever happened to me in my life. It has changed me for the better physically, mentally, spiritually. I can't say enough about it, and I encourage you guys to check it out. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Say bye to Sam. Sam. We'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
The Carnivore Bar, compared to movie theater snack prices, it's no competition. With a tub of popcorn running you over $14, I'd much rather enjoy the salty, crunchy, meaty goodness of a Carnivore Bar any day, and I don't have to cheat to enjoy my night out. Carnivore Bar. Save 10 to 20% when you use my link in the description of this video.